I'm back again. Hopefully that Aki got bored and wandered off.
Secret. I didn't actually head up
Authorization,
here.
please.
They're born in chains. I bet you'd be.
Oh, so there's secret worlds. Interesting.
Ah, the hub.
No, unfortunately it starts at the start.
Authorization, please. Authorization, please.
Oh, jeez.
My dear, what is the matter?
Authorization, please.
Sign says shortcut to Ethelna. Great, I'm back on track. I sure could have done with knowing about this route earlier. High path. More like long, circuitous, tedious path. Not as catchy though, I admit.
We're behind
The turning is the
schedule
grand
again.
event.
Obviously. Your idea of a supply chain is worse than the Bureau of Public Works petition regarding worker compensation.
Wait, what does the petition state?
That they shouldn't be.
Oh,
Yeah, saw your name on that one too.
anyway, what are you getting at, Builder?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with having to carry, with our hands, some pre-constructed trapdoor to some predetermined place, back and forth, wasting time and energy and money when there are clearly better options, like moving the depot closer, or maybe giving us, Watcher forbid, a hammer and a hard hat and letting us figure it out. No, that's a terrible idea. Let's save costs instead by not paying us. I like that. It'll go over great with the others. We certainly won't find ways to actively do you harm.
Are you threatening me?
I don't recall ever saying that.
One of my favorite pieces of Emmett's music. Oh hey, I finished the demo.
We're almost there. Blueprints indicate it's called the Rapid Collection System.
Our main concern is the safety of the above-grounders.
Precisely. Gathering efficiency will be increased tenfold if we can get the system online.
Oh hey, I'm Half.
We've almost come through. Oh. 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 Riders have riddled these ancient corridors. You're the architect. You design a safe path to navigate this death trap.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I see the path. This is very weird, though. Having to deal with other architects is kind of a, or having to deal with these engineers is kind of a pain. Nope. So these are essentially build your own mazes.
We're in. This won't take long.
Preliminary analysis shows it's just neglected. And by the looks of it, this system was designed and completed long ago. I reckon hundreds of years back or more based on the part numbers. I'd wager it just got lost in the mountains of paperwork we have on preparations.
Too bad.
Nah, don't worry. We maintain meticulous records of all our historical part systems. We also keep a full stock of maintenance parts in rotation. Takes a tremendous amount of manpower, naturally. After all, what good is an empire that can't keep itself running?
So that means...
It'll be fast. It'll more than pay for the initial time investment in subsequent collections. We'll need to submit all necessary paperwork to have it staffed as we get it online. Collection efforts are green lit for fast track approval. I'll bet we see it online soon.
All right. Proceed. Wow, this could make fast work of collection. Hope this doesn't take too long to power up.
Dugandy's my home, though you wouldn't know it these days. Last time I was here, I was on some wild roach chase the pit thing had sent me on. I learned two things then. First, the hole holder of the Smite Masters Guild, Bombus Gaddon, had been working in secret with the DAA. As far as I could gather, it was to keep the Smite Masters from interfering with the Empire's plans. That didn't stop me, of course, which is probably what led to the second thing I learned. King Dugand had ordered his guards to kill me on sight, and had burned down my restaurant, which was pretty rude. I was a fugitive in my own hometown, and it was all because of the Empire. I was hoping things had died down a bit over the past year or so. After all, Dugandy was still my home. My sister
Oh, I wonder if we're actually gonna
too,
hear
even if I
Ivanova
didn't know
talk.
much about it yet. I needed to warn them about this tiny business. My first plan was to get another audience with the king. Dugand's an idiot, but if I could get him without any DAA lackey running interference, maybe he would listen to reason. Well, okay, I could try appealing to his ego at least. The good news was that his guards were no longer trying to kill me. The bad news was they weren't going to let me in either. There'd been enough trouble here before, and I didn't particularly want to be run out of town a second time. I needed a different approach, and as much as I hated the idea, I knew just where to start. Bombus hadn't been home when I arrived at Dugand through his secret passage, so there was only one other place he was likely to be, the guild hall itself. Bombus was a bit surprised to see me. A really big sword tends to do that, but he didn't seem to care very much. I'd never liked the guy, even before all this Empire business. How could you call yourself a smite master if you didn't do any delving? He loved to talk and facilitate, and he got on well with kings and all that class, but he left the actual smiting to apprentices and other guild members. Bombus told me that things had become grim for the guild over the last few months. Whatever he'd hoped to gain from the alliance with the DAA had gone sour. Didn't have much sympathy. And this wasn't what I came here for. So, without any better leads, I sat down and talked to him about the grand event.
Beethro, please. Surely you must consider that without details, there's little we could possibly do.
Come on, Gadden. Didn't your secret friends tell you anything? Everything ties into this. They've been building toward this for way too long. Years, maybe decades.
Perhaps, but what is a turning?
Bleck, I was hoping you'd know. Some revolution? Empire takes over Dugand? The 8th? That Brunsheath guy didn't like Dugand still being in power. I know that.
The king is difficult to talk to at times, it's true. But I'm afraid I do not see why it would matter whether he is king or not before this event.
The only thing I know for sure right now is that there's just a few months until it happens. It'll happen everywhere, but it all starts at Nethercombe Farrows, wherever that is.
Nethercombe Farrows, you say? That rings a faint bell.
It does? One of your DAA buddies mentioned it?
I don't think so. I think I remember where I saw it. Ah, here we are. Nidbert's delving report, 133 BD.
Nidbert? Didn't he get lost while clearing someone's cellar and didn't turn up for 5 years?
Quite so. Of course, it fell to myself to file the report, since he wasn't the most literate of delvers, but...
Just get on with it.
Yes. It appears that during his travels, he came across a terrible guardian of sorts that stared down at him with a gigantic, unblinking eye, and...
Skip the flavor.
It informed him he was trespassing upon Nethercombe Farrows, and that he should turn back.
And?
He stabbed it. Well, tried to. When that didn't work, he walked back the way he came. It was often difficult to cross-reference where his travels took him throughout this report, but the heat and molten environs he described, well, it suggested somewhere near the vertex.
That's the northernmost point of the 8th. What was he doing at Sun Island?
Being lost, I surmise.
Wasn't long before I was back on the road, following this new lead.
Wow, we are
Still
going to go to
wasn't
Sun
sure I could
Island.
trust Bombus, despite our little chat, but he at least cared about the well-being of the guild and Dugand, so perhaps I could trust in that. But when you want to deal with an infestation, you don't wait for the roach babies to hatch. You kill the queen. So it was off to Nethercombe Farrows to see if I could put a stop to all this. One thing's for sure, my feet were getting really, really tired. Well, if I want to get to Sun Island, I'd better keep heading north. Places don't get much further north than that.